So in today's gospel, Jesus said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and he has anointed me to bring good news to the poor, to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind." Now, he spoke these words some 2,000 years ago in a synagogue in Nazareth. And what he spoke that day wasn't only meant for the Jewish people of that day. It was meant for people at all times and in all places, you and me, still today. But ironically enough, sometimes I wonder if these words of Jesus, spoken so long ago, are really meant for someone like me. You see, privilege is a funny thing. It can often blind you to the things that you need to see. Now, I don't mean to sound all woke today, but I've been thinking about my own privilege long before woke became common vernacular. You see, in seminary, I was taught to examine myself and my upbringing and to look at how my upbringing gave me opportunities in life and helped me to become who I am today. And I came to realize that all of the opportunities that I've been given in life come from my family, my heritage, and my privilege. And so I'll try to explain exactly what I mean by that. See, I'm a white man, and I'm a cisgender white man, which means that I identify as the gender that I was born as. And I'm also a straight white man, married to a woman. And I come from a middle-class family, a family who is able to take vacations to the beach, a family who is able to go out to eat on a weekly basis, a family who is able to provide my brother and I with new clothes and plenty of school supplies and bicycles and toys and video games. Most people in the world don't have that. But I was not in want in any way as a child. I lived in a nice house in a safe neighborhood. I had a stable family. Life was good. And I realized the life that I had provided me with opportunities to do well in school. And that led me to go on to college. See, this privilege afforded to me gave me the opportunities that have led me to this place right now, here today. So privilege, I think, again, is a funny thing. Because in this gospel text today, we hear Jesus speaking at a synagogue, proclaiming good news to the poor. But you see, the problem is, I'm not poor. I've never been able to identify as poor. I've never been in want. I have had everything that I truly needed in life. So is this good news that Jesus spoke about, is it meant for me? But as I've thought deeper about this gospel text, I realize that even though I've been given so many opportunities in life, I was also without. I had times as a child that I was bullied. I was often left out and made to feel inferior. So many times I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel accepted. I wasn't athletic enough to make the basketball team. I wasn't talented enough to have a prominent position in the school band. And I was only good enough to be stuck in the outfield on my little league baseball team. And we all know what that means. So I do know what it means to feel like an outcast. And maybe in that way, I do know what it means to be poor. And maybe then, this good news that Jesus speaks of, maybe it is meant for me. But even if I can identify as poor, what about being a captive? Jesus said that he was sent to proclaim release to the captives. But I've never been a captive. I've never been in trouble with the law. I've never been even inside a jail cell. I've never even had a speeding ticket. So what do I know about being a captive to anything? So again, this good news about release to the captives, how could it be meant for me? But in a different light, I realize that I am a captive. I'm captive to myself. I'm captive to my own selfishness and sin and my misguided thoughts and actions. I'm captive to things that I wish I wouldn't do, but I do anyway. I'm captive, too, to feelings of insecurity. I'm captive to feeling as if I'm not good enough. I'm captive to the false belief that God will only love me if I'm faithful and obedient enough. So I have been captive to more than I'd like to admit. I felt bound to things that I didn't want to be bound to. Like an addict, I couldn't escape. So maybe this good news about release from captivity, maybe it's also meant for me. But then I come to Jesus' words about sight being given to the blind. But I'm not blind. Now, I do have a good friend who is physically blind, but I can't even fathom how he navigates life independently. I've had no notable handicap or lack of physical ability in my life. So what do I know about being blind? And is this good news about sight for the blind meant for me? But then I think about all the things that I truly have been blind to. I've been blind to the ways of God working in my life. I've been blind to people and needs in the world around me. Blind to God's ability to use me and to use all people for redemptive purposes. I'm often blind to optimism and captive to negativity. I'm blind to the beauty and the goodness that exists in the world. And I'm blind in my ability to trust God in my life. So maybe I am blind. And maybe this good news about God's power to give sight to the blind, maybe that could be meant for me too. It's ironic. I've too often been blinded by my own privilege. I've been blinded into believing that the good news of God, the grace of God, somehow wouldn't fully find me and love me as I am. But maybe the dilemma, again and again, is our inability to see ourselves as poor, as captive, as blind, and in need of God's favor and mercy. Maybe if we can identify as poor and captive and in need of freedom, maybe then these words of Jesus, these words that seem so ancient and often inapplicable to us, maybe then we'll see these words as good news. And maybe then we'll find that abundant life that Jesus spoke about. So I'd like to conclude today with a video clip from Pastor Nadia Bowles-Weber, who I've often quoted. In this video, Nadia has beautifully taken this good news of Jesus and the things that he's said and taught, and she's woven them and applied them to the many ways in which we feel bound and captive and poor and insufficient today in life. So may we continue to see our deep need of God. And in that need, may we find good news and new life. Amen.
Blessed are the agnostics. Blessed are they who doubt. Those who aren't sure, those who can still be surprised. Blessed are those who have nothing to offer. Blessed are they for whom death is not an abstraction. Blessed are they who've buried their loved ones, for whom tears could fill an ocean. Blessed are they who've loved enough to know what loss feels like. Blessed are they who don't have the luxury of taking things for granted anymore. Blessed are they who can't fall apart because they have to keep it together for everyone else. Blessed are those who still aren't over it yet. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are those who no one else notices. The kids who sit alone at middle school lunch tables, the laundry guys at the hospital, the sex workers and the night shift street sweepers. Blessed are the forgotten. Blessed are the closeted. Blessed are the unemployed, the unimpressive, the underrepresented. Blessed are the wrongly accused, the ones who never catch a break, the ones for whom life is hard, for Jesus chose to surround himself with people like them. Blessed are those without documentation. Blessed are the ones without lobbyists. Blessed are those who make terrible business decisions for the sake of people. Blessed are the burned out social workers and the overworked teachers and the pro bono case takers. Blessed are the kind-hearted NFL players and the fundraising trophy wives. And blessed are the kids who step between the bullies and the weak. Blessed is everyone who has ever forgiven me when I didn't deserve it. Blessed are the merciful, for they totally get it. You are of heaven, and Jesus blesses you.